was today. That's today's main gameplay stream. Tonight on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, we're doing a second session of Hi-Fi Rush. This is the game that was released last week on Game Pass with absolutely no marketing. No one even knew the game existed. From the makers of, if you can believe it, The Evil Within and Ghostwire Tokyo. It's Tango Gameworks. But this game is no horror game. It's completely different. It's action. It's platforming. It's kind of like combo style action combat like Devil May Cry, but it's rhythm based, and it's got a quirky atmosphere, an interesting art design, and really good music. Now, I played it for 2 hours the other night, not knowing what was going to happen. People showed up to see what it was. It was more of a gee, I wonder what this game is attitude. Okay, engagement was good. By the end of the stream, people were completely split. Half the people who were there were like, nah, we get it. It kind of looks like a throwback to Dreamcast or early, PS2 era style game, although definitely it's more modern with its polish. It's got voice acting. It's interesting in that regard, but it doesn't seem like anything too complex or to write home about. Glad you checked it out, but not too interested. The other half of the people were like, wow, this game is absolutely amazing. It's so cool. It's stylistic. It's fun. Play it again. Keep playing it. And when I have a split down the middle like that, it's hard to judge what I want to do. In fact, even people watching the videos on my day off yesterday left a mix of comments. It was kind of 50-50. Some people were like, oh, this is kind of unique, and others were like, nah, not really interested in this. So, I don't know what we're doing. We're going to try it again tonight. Now, I will tell you one thing. There is a factor, obviously, when it comes to games that I play here on stream. It's support. It's just a factor that has to be discussed, as much as I don't like making it all about that, because it's not all about that. If a game is not supported, but there's many other games that you guys want to see that will be supported, then we're likely going to play the other games. You know what I'm saying? The only exception would be if there's a game that's good variety to break up the style of stuff I'm doing on my streams, or if it's a game that I've really wanted to play, or a fan favorite, demand, and it's not the most supported, but still people like it or want it, I'll probably still do it. In this case, in the case of Hi-Fi Rush, this is a game that after 2 hours, I was like, man, it's all right. I'm not in love with it, but I don't hate it either. It's all right. Now, maybe it'll grow on me and get even more interesting the further in I get. And I was like, I got to make a decision, but I'm not ready to make that decision yet. All right? But here's what I can tell you. Support was abysmally low. And I mean that. That's not an exaggeration. Hi-Fi Rush the other night was the least supported stream I've had in probably about 6 months. That's not good. Because it's funny, all the time people say to me, Phil, all you do is you play mainstream games. You play mainstream, highly advertised, AAA games. These are your big playthroughs. You should really branch out and you should do other things. So what did I do recently? I listened to your feedback and I played a game called Signalis. And within 2 streams of Signalis, my audience complained it was boring. They didn't like the graphic style. It was too dark. It was too cryptic. It was too old. It played too much like classic Resident Evil, and it wasn't fun to watch. And therefore, within 2 streams, everyone yelled that it wasn't a good game. Stop playing it. To which I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I like the game. It's a good homage to the classics. I actually think it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's kind of hitting it on all cylinders. Now, you may not enjoy it all the way. And by the way, it definitely had some flaws. And I outright called these out during the playthrough of Signalis, that there was way too much backtracking. Some of the puzzles were just way too cryptic, to the point that if people weren't actually actively helping me a little bit to figure them out, I never would have figured it out. And then, near the end of the game, they take away your map. A critical game component that makes the game essentially playable and fun, they remove from the game. I'm like, what are they thinking, right? So it has flaws. It's not perfect, but I definitely loved that playthrough. I thought it was a good one to do to break things up. Now, here we are in another case, Hi-Fi Rush. It's a game that had no marketing, a game that no one even knew existed. It's made by a semi-big studio, but at the same time, Tango Gameworks hasn't been doing so well. I mean, Ghostwire Tokyo was kind of a flop. And it dropped out of nowhere, a shadow drop, right? Check it out, Phil. Check it out, Phil. Okay, I check it out. But by the end of the first stream, it's a 50-50 split between my audience, and people aren't supporting the stream. So, it's funny because people say to me, Phil, you never really play this style of game. I have. In the last month now, I played 2. In the first month of the year, I've played 2 of this style of game, and it's not working. Do you understand? Like, this is why I don't. This is literally why I don't take chances on that style of game, because half the time, it just doesn't work out. And I don't know what else to say about that. It's just, it's facts. Because a lot of people want to say, oh, you're slandering more indie games or not big AAA. You're just, I don't know what you think I possibly have to benefit by slandering smaller releases, okay? I don't understand it. But it's just that people constantly say they want the variety. I give you the variety, and then it's not what you want, obviously, right? So here's the thing with Hi-Fi Rush. I liked it, but I didn't love it when I played it the other night. We're going to give it a second stream tonight on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. If people show up, engage, and support the stream, then I will probably do a full playthrough of it, okay? And I don't know how long it is, but I'm sure it's not that long, considering it's a discount purchase. It's not a $70 game. What is it, like $40 or something like that? $30? So I'm sure it's not a super long game, and if we played it as a main stream over the weekend, then likely we would end up beating it within a week, in which case that's great. But I'm not going to adopt this as a full playthrough if people simply don't want it or don't support it, okay? So, it is what it is. Let's see what happens tonight. It's a kind of a wait-and-see attitude. If the game is fun, if you guys like it, if I like it, and if it's going to get support, then I'll keep playing it. But if it's a second dud of a night like that, then that's going to be it, and we're going to do something different. And we'll talk about that in a second, okay? All right.